Adulting and healing, you would think they would go hand in hand, but because of the society we live in and it being a capitalistic society, first and foremost, that's not the case. A lot of the things that we were told growing up about getting older in adulthood contradict what us as individuals would see on our own healing and spiritual journey. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nate Ajua, the artist you don't know yet, so let's dig into some shit. I felt like this for a little while now, but in the past 6 months, it's just felt extra loud of a thought because I graduated college and I was like thrown into the real world. I moved to a new city, I bought a car recently, and all these things seem like elements to the real world, and I'm still finding myself question everything. I'm always having a question of what's next. What do I want from my life? What is this supposed to feel like? What is this supposed to be? The way society will paint it, they will make you think that you graduate college and you start your dream job or even just start your career. You did it and you should be happy. You should be content. I'm not happy or content. And it's not that I'm not happy. I just am realizing that my happiness comes from things outside of that sphere. Those things feels like going through the motions and just doing things that I'm supposed to do. I'm gonna spark up because I feel like a lot of us are going through this shift as we like enter our 20s. Gen Z is starting to enter the workforce where we're realizing that everything that they told us about adulthood was bullshit and why adults were like, don't rush to grow up when we were kids because like bills and other elements of capitalism just suck. And although I agree that that element does suck, I disagree with the fact that it has to be that way. Healing, when you lean into that as opposed to adulting, you'll realize healing is a lot more personal. And I don't mean to conflate that with hyper individualism, which is a byproduct of capitalism. I mean becoming your true self so that you can facilitate your role in community. Still trying to assess the balance between being independent in a healthy way and hyper independent in a capitalist world where you're supposed to go get it and be on your grind. It's benefited me. I've landed a 6-figure job. I am able to take care of all of my responsibilities on my own. But if that was what this whole thing was for, life, getting older, wisdom, they played us with this adulting stuff. And honestly, I don't think they really did play us. They just made childhood not fun. Because as a kid, I remember being told, you don't want to grow up too fast. And I feel like that's their way of saying, be present in your childhood because when it's over, it's clipped. But is it? I don't think it's necessary that all of us subscribe to these things that are just elements of adulthood, such as conventional jobs, conventional ways of living, conventional relationships, despite that fact that I'm in all of those. I feel like it's not something that we all have to like participate in. I feel like it's an opt-in or an opt-out, and when more of us realize that we can opt out, what's the alternative? The alternative starts with getting to know yourself. The alternative looks like, what would I be interested in if I didn't spend all my time on social media, if I didn't have to work at my job, if I didn't have to XYZ? When we do that, it allows us to mirror our answers. We can see where there are mismatches and we can see where there are things that we'd like to keep, or we can see where there's things that we want to spend more time doing. That way we can tailor what our day-to-day looks like as individuals. So another myth, going after what it is you really want is not beneficial to like the people around you because you have to go work that job and you have to be a parent and you have to do all these other things that contribute to society. I believe if you actually go down the path that resonates with you the most, that makes you feel the most like you are probably contributing to society. Why? Because I think that most people want to create a net positive. Most people want to do better than something, even if it's one element of their life. For me, that just looks like leaning into the things outside of my conventional ways of living. Starting a YouTube channel was not conventional, although it's very popular, especially amongst my generation. When you try to really sustain it, it's hard. Popular things have a lot of people who start, but not a lot of people who continue and finish. I really want to do this YouTube thing, so I don't want to do it anymore. Or I want to change the way I go about it, because right now it brings me so much joy, so much clarity. It brings a net positive to my day. Being an artist in general, making music, going to the studio, putting songs out, it's just a different way of doing the same thing. And I love that. And I want to spend more time doing that. I'm realizing now too that like spending time with my family is falling into that, or just the people I love in general. My partner, my friends, my family. I like to be around them, and it does bring that positive. And also just like trying new things. I like to travel. I like to explore. I like to have an adventure, even if it's in our home. There are some struggles though with trying to also like survive because we do have a capitalistic society. Even our very necessities are commodified. So of course we have to work to make money, and of course we need that money to have housing or food. Common ground probably takes more compromise on the side of like traditional, conventional adulting and your unique process, because there are certain things that I'm doing now, I'm starting to do, that make my day and my overall life so much better, that I couldn't give up. Not for a job, not for anything. It's just as essential to me. I went to Chipotle today. I haven't had Chipotle in so long. With my brother. So this was like the first time I like drove around with him. I remember when we were kids, and now we're like just doing adult ass errands. We're both new to adulthood. We're all at different places and we're all at different stages, and it's okay because this shit is so confusing. This shit is so confusing. And everyone's supposed to be on our own timing, but we're so used to being shown images that make us seem like we're all supposed to be at the same level all the time, or you keep comparing yourself to the next level, or you're like glad that you're not at the last level, you know? So it's like we're always constantly checking this barometer of whether we're on par with what life is supposed to be, ahead of it or behind. There is no behind. There is no ahead. There's just where you are, and that's okay. It's part of the process. If society wasn't so driven by the method of adulthood that produces producers, we would know that. But society drives us to get things done for the sake of capital. We're constantly checking the time. It's not an isolated thing. It's like at work, it's at school, it's in your home life, it's all of it, and it's shitty, because we should just focus more on the gratitude of having the present moment and whatever cool thing we could do that day. I watched a video that I really like by Lynette. I'll put her channel name. It's nice to see people with common ideas and thoughts. And I feel like my YouTube community, the people that I watch and the people that are starting to engage with my page, I love that we're all kind of like, okay, similar vibe, but everyone brings their own nuance. I always reference it as like pieces to a puzzle. We live in a world where no one knows the answer because all those pieces are scrambled. Some are upside down. You don't know what the pattern is on it yet. Billions of pieces. The more we try to figure out what our individual piece is, that's when we can know what we're supposed to contribute in order to zoom out and see more of the picture. But that's my spiel, and that's all I got. As always, I'm Neajua, the artist you just took some time to meet, and I'll see you next time. I think that is so cute.